My name is John Farmanesh-Bocca, and I am a director, mostly of stage. I started my career as an actor and a dancer, and I still do so. I still act a lot, and I dance from time to time, believe it or not, with my theater company in Los Angeles, which is called Not Man Apart Theater Ensemble, or actually more accurately, Physical Theater Ensemble.
And in the middle of all that, how do you define achievement?
How do I define achievement? Well, it's so personal, isn't it, with people, what achievement might mean to them. When I look out into the world and try to gauge what I guess achievement should be, gosh, I see people who do fabulous things in their arena, be it sports, be it technical achievements, be it science, and I wonder what it means. I guess a lot of people think it's monetary, but a lot of times that's what leads you away from achievement. Achieving to me is bettering people's lives, I think, for me. And whether that's done with a play, being a friend with an ear to listen to their friends, whether it's developing and working on yourself as a human being so that you feel like you can be the best you can be, which contributes to your family, your friends, to society at large. I think achievement to me now in my life is definitely about that relationship with the world I live in. And, sometimes it's in big ways. I'll take a play to Edinburgh or take a play to on tour, and thousands of people get to see it and get moved by it, because we normally do things that aren't just physically exciting but also have a message. Uh, but even the achievement of making a connection with another person whom you grow to love and understand and want more of, even in that moment of love between two people, that's a great achievement, because the world needs more love, more empathy. Growing up, mostly the expectations were academic and disciplinary, because my father was a general in the Air Force. So I didn't even learn how to slouch until I was 35 years old, because you had to sit up straight at that dinner table for sure. Um, but I think the expectation with many families was, particularly true with mine, to find an occupation that was both noble and of service to people. And usually they go hand in hand. A lot of noble professions out there serve people, whether it's being a doctor, whether it's joining the military in some way. Some people find a lot of nobility and service in that. And most of my family is military, actually, and I have a great number of military friends. However, my version of service is to be in the theater, because it's truly service. Very few people make a fortune doing that, but you do feel like you're in service of that empathy muscle for people, and that's really important, especially in this day and age.
So your father was the general in the Iranian Air Force,
Yes, in the Iranian Air Force.
and then he moved.
We moved to the United States when I was a baby. So he had done this very prescient thing, really worked for retiring from the Iranian Air Force. And it just so happened to be about only a year and a half before the religious revolution that toppled the Shah. So we were already in the United States. Many people looked for an escape route who did not have one. And a lot of the Shah's generals were executed. So we found salvation in the United States.
But you guys were already out when that fell.
Yes, and we were at Laughlin Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas. So that's where kind of all my American journey started there. But we quickly moved to a place called Carmel, California, and it was a gorgeous place and a true artistic sanctuary of the Americas, where many great writers and poets and photographers, painters, they all lived there, and they had a very bustling theater community out there that took me under their wing. I lived there for a time. I lived in Europe for a time, studying and dancing. and then finally made my way to NYU, New York University, where I studied acting. Um, and it was at a specific department that was very friendly to former dancers, actually. It was called the Experimental Theater Wing. That's where I cut my teeth.
Do you remember them coming up against the culture of America?
Yeah, most certainly I do. Yeah, they came up against the culture of America, but not. They weren't defiant to it. They were really for it, but they did their best. You know, at that time there was a lot of phobia against people from Iran because of the Iranian hostage crisis that happened around the time I was just a little boy. And so, in their infinite wisdom, they told me to lie about where I came from because they honestly thought I would be hurt, and said as much to me as a little person. So, I grew up for a long time very scared of where I came from, and actually, I relate more to American culture, British culture, European culture before I even connect to Persian culture. Um, because of my own personal travels and experiences, albeit my family is Persian, I don't relate to it as much, to be honest with you. Although it's there, it's underneath everything, as it is. You know, you get a lot of traits passed down genetically. Um, but yeah, to adapt to American culture was very quick and sudden for my family. Um, I think they had more of a problem, not with American culture, but accepting me as a theater artist at first, because it's not something they experienced, nor did they have any relatives that have ever done it. So they were just confused as to how I could work so hard on certain things and have no interest in other things like mathematics that they were very interested in.